All right. Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy and socially isolating out there. Obviously, not where we've seen this all going, but let's try and make the best of it and hopefully get you through this course and on to the next level of math, wherever that may be. So if you remember where we had left off, we were talking about different ways that we can earn an income. And so, we had talked about some different ways that we can earn an income. So looking at maybe investing, piecework, talking about your hourly wage, commission, incentives, salary, overtime, all of those different ways that we can make money. We also talked about different pay periods. So you could get paid yearly, but that doesn't really happen. There's monthly, bi-monthly, which is 24 times a year, because monthly is 12, so it's double that. Bi-weekly would be 26 times a year, so that's every 2 weeks. And then there's weekly, which means you would get paid 52 times a year. Remembering those number intervals are important, just in case we run into questions where we need to use them. All right, let's go. So we looked at some terminology, looked at converting back and forth between time and figuring out how punch card works and how to keep track of time that you've worked. Talked about piecework, salary, commission, overtime, and bonuses is where we left off. So I'm going to make a few short videos here for the next few lessons, and then if you just check the comment section, I will make sure that I kind of post what questions I would like you to look at for practice, and then there will be corresponding quizzes for all of that. All right, so we're talking about deductions. So when we were talking previously, we were saying, Sally works 40 hours a week, making $15 an hour. How much money does she make? We say whatever amount. But that's not how much money she takes home, right? That is her gross pay. We now are going to start calculating or look at some different ways that we can include those deductions in there. So if we remember, gross pay is the amount received before taxes and other deductions. Okay, so net pay is also known as, what do you take home? That's also called your take-home pay. And so it refers to the amount of money that you earn after all of the deductions. So an employee earns after all deductions have been made. And we kind of talked about these terms, so this shouldn't be too unfamiliar. So deductions, just in case we don't know what that word means, deductions is money that is removed from your check for a variety of reasons. And so maybe you're part of a union, right? So I'm a member of the ATA because I'm a teacher. So I don't know, like $80 or whatever a month has to go to my union dues. Pension, so you might pay into a pension plan with your own company. And so that would come off of there. Taxes in general, so the federal government's going to take a portion of your taxes, as well as the provincial government takes that away. CPP, so we pay into Canada Pension Plan, so that's going to come off, as well as EI, which is unemployment insurance. So those are all of the different things that might get removed off of a paycheck. So let's go take a look at how we can calculate, different take-home or different net pays. So example number 1 says, Mackenzie worked as a receptionist in an office. She makes $650 a week, and she's got to pay $14.10 from that in union fees. So not too bad. So it says, what percent of her gross pay does she pay to union fees? So now we have to remember some of the things that we've been learning in previous units. So I'm trying to figure out a percentage. So I have to somehow take these numbers and divide them, and then take that decimal and divide it by 100. So what I would do is, she pays $14.10 in union fees out of her total amount of money that she makes. So what is the percentage of her union fees compared to her her weekly amount that she's allotted? So $650. When I divide those numbers, I get 0.02169, blah, blah, blah. I want that as a percentage, so we remember how to change a percent or a decimal to a percent. We just times by 100. So when I times that by 100, She pays about, we'll round, so 2.2% of her check is going to her union dues. So then it says, what is Mackenzie's net pay, assuming she has no other deductions? Now, in Canada, at least, that's not real, right? Because we're giving taxes to the government, CPP, and everything else. But let's assume that that's it. Well, her net pay then is just going to be the $650 a week. Subtract the deductions, and she's only getting $1,410 off of her check. And so 650 minus $1,410, I'm going to get $635.90. Or she, I guess Mackenzie, is what her net or her take-home pay would be. All right, next one. Example 2 says you have a 16-week contract at Marmot Basin in Jasper where you're going to work 15 hours a week. So just a little gig. Your employer offers you 2 options. You have option 1, which is $10.75 an hour, or option 2 is $8.80 an hour plus a weekday season pass with a value of $680. Not bad. So how many hours in total are you going to work during the 16-week contract? So 16 weeks, I guess that's how long Marmot's open for, which doesn't sound right, but that's fine. That's what your contract is. So 16 weeks, and I'm just going to times that by the number of hours that I'm going to be working. Well, I'd be working 15 hours times by the 16 weeks. So I'd be working a total of 240 hours there. Next question says, how much will you make for the first choice? So option 1, I'm just getting paid $10.75 an hour. So I would just take the number of hours times by my wage, which is $10.75. And I get, they would make $2,580 if they chose option 1. Option 2 is how much will you make for the second choice? So second choice is here. So you get $8.80 an hour. So $8.80 an hour times by that 240 hours. So $8.80 times 240 is going to give me $2,112. Plus, I get this option of having a season pass too, so $680. So plus $680. So in total, working option 2 is going to make you $2,792. So which option would you choose and why? I guess that's up to you. Do you want the money? Maybe you have another job in between, so you'd work 15 hours or a week at Marmot and then go to a different job. Or maybe you only work that part-time job and then you could spend the rest of the time on the slopes, right? So it depends on what you would want to do for that choice. Okay, here is a look at someone's pay statement. And so we're just going to kind of go analyze it and then fill the rest of this out that hasn't been filled out for us. So it says we have Melissa Hope. She works at West 49. And it looks like here she starts, this is her paycheck for September to October. So this is about, looks like 2 weeks-ish, maybe more. Anyways, so she's getting paid $10.50 an hour. That's her regular rate. And she worked 30 hours. So what is her gross earnings? Well, if she worked 30 hours and is getting paid $10.50, I'm just going to multiply those together to figure out her gross earnings. So $10.50 times 30. So for this question, we're just filling in what I'm missing. So she's making $315 if she works 30 hours at $10.50 an hour. Let's go look at the rest of this here. So this is saying before tax deductions. Now that doesn't really make any sense, but all right, these are getting taken away. I guess what that means is that's getting taken away before taxes are. So they're removing union dues and RRSP fees before we take tax. So how much do we owe before we take off taxes? Well, we're going to add these two together to go right here. So we owe $975, or Melissa, I guess, owes $975 to her union dues and $20.50 to her RRSPs. So she'd have to take $30.25 and remove that from her check for those. The next one is the benefits, or we'll call those like taxes, I guess. Not even taxes, but so extended healthcare and dental. Well, how much do they total up to? Well, $15.10 for extended health care and $970 for her dental, she's going to have to take off $24.80 for that. So the total deductions, well, what is the total amount that I'm going to be reduced on my check? Well, it'd be this amount plus this amount. So $30.25 plus $24.80. So total amount they're getting taken off their check is $55.05. So what's the net pay? Well, what does this person take home? What does Melissa take home? You have to take your earnings, $315, and subtract your deductions from it. So 315 minus 55.05, I get $259.95. Yep. All right, so just looking at navigating and solving some problems there. Now, I have the homework book for those questions just online. I would suggest that you take a look. I mean, I think it's only like 2 or 3 questions. Just maybe do them on an extra piece of paper. If you're only going to maybe look at a few, make sure you look at question number 1 for homework 5, question 2, and question 4 would be the ones that I suggest that you do for now. Okay. Again, I'll type that all up and put it on as a comment. And then there'll be a quiz that's coming out on this one shortly. Thank you.